Hey everybody, what's up? What's good? It is February 15th, 2026. Look, if you weren't with your lover or you don't have one right now for Valentine's Day, February 14th, or if are feeling like you missed out, we're telling a new story. That's not the story. You didn't miss out. Confirmation. You wouldn't have wanted the people or persons that you met previously because you weren't ready for them. Think of how much you have raised your vibration and how much work you've put into yourself. If you would have met you 6 months ago, you wouldn't have even been ready for the caliber of person that you are ready for today. So, with that in mind, before we get into the tarot, this is Stevie's tarot. Please like, subscribe. Well, you see our little owl here? He wanted to be seen. All right, we're going to get one crystal mandala card before we get into the tarot. One for the collective, please. About. Whoa, okay. Thank you, Spirit. Goddess Ishtar and Astrophyllite. It's a gorgeous card. It is number 41. Ooh, who's 41? Look how that matches with that owl. Gold. Gold is important. Hey, entertainment purposes only. Invest in gold. Tangible. We bring you the empowerment of daring rebirth. See, I told you, you weren't ready before. Now you are. The bold spirit in you claims the divine defiance of a phoenix. It refuses defeat at every turn. No matter who or what may seek to overpower your spirit, your peace, your loving heart, and your wild optimism, you shall triumph in the divine and daring rebirth. Do not limit yourself with expectations, whether from another or your own mind. Again, 6 months ago, you weren't the same person you are today. There is so much possible for you, a radically different and new you to become. Believe, and so it shall be. It takes daring to imagine a new life. Boldness of spirit and willingness are needed to allow yourself to embrace and live that different life. And we're not dreaming anymore about a different life. We're like being realistic about what that different life looks like with our resources available, right? Building realistically, building those resources. The magic of manifestation is believing that it can be true. And if it's not realistic in your own mind, then you'll never have it. Believe you can and you will. You can be in this world as you choose to be. Many times over, I've been different things. The truth of you can have many different versions. Some fearful, some free. So true. There is so much that is possible for you to experience in this life. You have the light and power of the living sun inside you. I'm telling you, rebirth is new life, a different you that is truthful, authentic, and yet more vibrant, radiant, vivid, and free. Telling you that if you feel in this, the fire horse energy comes in on the 17th. It's the 15th that I'm doing this rebirth. You are being reborn. This year is yours. Don't feel guilt about, like, your life has to proceed even in the face of the horrendous. I live in the United States, and it feels almost, I have almost guilt that I'm going to have abundance this year when the world is, when our government is taking from so many. We can't live that way. We put out abundance. More abundance for me means more abundance for others. That's how we do it. And remember, if you can't feed 1,000, feed one. Mother Teresa. Okay. Now, let's get into the tarot. Move the camera a little bit there. Alright, so shuffle these a few times on camera. I've gotten my cat these like colorful yarn balls, and every single one of them he likes to play on the floor that it's easy to, soccer in, which is in the living room, or not in the living room, it's in the kitchen and dining room. And anyway, he gets him every time within moments underneath the refrigerator or stove, and then he wants me to get him out. Not doing it anymore. Driving a mama crazy. Ooh, card that was left out, meant for us to see, the Magician. As above, so below. We're starting off with that. That is the energy around us. I'm going to lay these out and then we'll go through them. What crosses us? Three of Cups. What's above us? What's behind us? What's our strength? That. And okay. 7, 8, and 9. Whoa! What falls to the floor comes to the door, and you will not. And look, your divine counterpart is the outcome. I'm telling you, this is the story. This is your new story. Like, if you didn't have a lover on February 14th, this is your reading. This is your reading. The situation around you right now is, listen, every time I read this out of this book, it just makes me cringe and not. Okay? But it's appropriate right now. The Magician is the first trump card in the tarot. And I just want... What does trump card in tarot mean? The trump card refers to the 22 major arcana. Okay. So this is the first of the major arcana. That's what it's saying. But it says it, the trump card, the first trump card. That's why do you understand? Okay. The magician's right hand points to the sky and the other points down to the earth, referring to the spiritual and material realms respectively. On the table in front of him stood a cup, a sword, a wand, and pentacle, representing the four instruments of minor arcana. Magicians can adjust them however they want. The magician, the object of mystical study, is interpreted of power, potential, and unity of physical and spiritual worlds. The outcome, what lies in front of you, is so much more than they're trying to make it a very narrow point of view, right? Trying to okay, like in the United States, forgive me, but this is they're trying to chill dissent, right? So that people don't act, don't resist. The outcome is so much wider than what our narrow human eyes can see. It's as above. So this outcome, we just don't know. Sustained resistance against authoritarian governments do topple them. And that's what we are seeing. We must continue. The outcome is so much wider. You changed weather. You have so much power to put into the collective consciousness, and that's how we raise the vibration and heal this earth. Individually we heal, we raise our vibration, we put our work out into the ethers that raises the vibration. Look, they put ick into the world, we double down on the love. And what this is what crosses us. Look, teamwork makes the dream work. This is a time to come together with like-minded people. There are people, yes, the resistance, la resistance, right? Whatever that is, I have no idea, but that's just what I'm hearing, right? We've got to resist. The red coat resistance. What was that? Red coat. Red coats refer to, yeah. Yeah. You resisted the red coat, yeah. Red has always been something that you resist. Redcoats are always fighting against the patriots, and you're a patriot. Get with like-minded people. Just get with like-minded people no matter where you are. What you're leaving behind is this. And look, this is not a bad card to leave behind. It's the Nine of Swords. You're leaving these nightmares behind. There's nowhere to go but up. You dropped some addiction? Were you drinking too much? Were you partaking in some substance? Like, you knew it. You sat with yourself. You read it. 2026. Time's up, right? Grow up. Get rid of that stuff. If you're still using tobacco, I don't care if it's smoking it or using those Zen. Time to give that up. And Spirit said, well, you're being judgy. Okay, so anyway, you know what's a problem in your life. You do. And you're putting those, you're nowhere to go but up, and you're going up. This is, let's see. All right. And then Celtic Cross and Tarot. I'm going to see something here, y'all. When I'm doing it, I always, different readers do different, pull different cards differently. And I always want to see what, I want to see what they're saying this card is above you. And I'm sorry. So, okay. Yeah. So your strengths. Huh. Okay, well, you were at the Nine of Swords, and then you went to the Eight of Swords. So you know how to get out of trouble? Or you, no, I don't, that's not even the right words. You know how a difficult situation, at the same time, a new struggle began. Yeah, you were like between a rock and a hard place. You lived your life like this, no more. Like you were here. You like you're moving on from this because you lived like this. You lived your life between like a rock and a hard place. One struggle began and another one ended. Like that's how your life has been. Crisis after crisis after crisis. No more. What your strength is you're moving on. You're moving on from those rough waters. You've learned not to swim in the rough waters anymore. It's a beautiful life in the calm waters. Matter of fact, you can watch those roaring waves, and it's much better than being involved in them. You know, I heard the most beautiful. Someone was talking about, you know, the collective consciousness and how it embodies into our life. And it's like this, it's like we are a wave, right? The ocean is the collective consciousness, and we each individual comes up out of the ocean, and that wave, as it is, that huge beautiful wave, looks like something absolutely individual all by itself, right? Like us humans. And it is for a while, but it's always connected to the ocean, and it returns to the ocean. And that's how we are in this human body and life. We're just a huge, beautiful wave for a while, and then return to the collective consciousness. But we don't have to be in rough waters our whole life. We don't have to go from one crisis to the next. And we've learned that. That's why we wouldn't be satisfied with the partner that we would have picked in this life. This partner is in the calm water. What's coming is the Queen of Cups. You've mastered your emotions. And the Queen of Cups can be like cold, but it's like you're learning that too about yourself. Look, I wanted to be every. You know, when you say I'm not going to be like that, I'm not going to be like that. Turns out you are. You recognize that. sometimes it's hard to see that in yourself. The things you didn't like in your parents, maybe especially the one of the same gender. My mother is cold emotionally, and I wanted to be everything that she wasn't. And in some ways, I had to work to be what she wasn't because she put those things in me. She grew me, you know? And I'm an old woman too. And I still am working on my emotions. Represent a model of virtue of love with pure heart. You've always had a pure heart, my dear. You just protected it. Now you're learning how to love yourself and another. You don't have to learn how to love yourself before you can love another. Love is love is love is love. Just learn how to love. But you've been in a love affair with yourself. Truly, truly, truly. Yeah, I truly have been. Like, become the person that you would want to be in a relationship with, right? Because your advice represents sufficient wealth, a guaranteed plan, emotional stability, enjoyable relationship. You're getting it all. Spirit wants to know that Spirit has a hand in this. Ask them, Spirit, please. Angels, ancestors, Spirit guides. My grandparents, I call Nan and Pop, please join us. Those of the highest, brightest, white light realm of my most high good. Everything else leaving out the crack of the windows. It's like, listen. It's coming for you. If you are listening for this, you're coming, your year of abundance is coming. Don't be afraid of it. The things that happen, that doesn't cause fear. It's what we think about them. Just remember that. It's what you think. It's your thoughts, not the things. The thoughts, not the things. There's some cinnamon for abundance. Welcome that into your life and home. Ugh. Nice, nice, nice. Leave that right there. Okay. Now, what's going on in the environment around you? The sun. Wow, baby. Let me see what this says. Someone 19, just old enough to listen. The sun shows the Son of Life riding a white horse and holding a red flag representing renewed blood while smiling. Sun shines on him with sunflowers behind him. This card represents new life, full of life and energy. There will be noble people to help you in your career, and there will be better development opportunities. Emotional stability, and happiness. You get that? That's in your environment. Everything's coming for you. It is. Your hopes and dreams, yes. To live like the Empress, to always be in abundance, and you will. Have enough to feed yourself and 1,000 more. She taps her scepter and wheat is grown at her feet. She's pregnant with abundance. Entertainment purposes only now is the time. Be having an October, November baby. And your likely outcome, your divine counterpart, the Two of Cups. This is the story that you are having. Make sure you don't tell yourself a lie. Your mind lies to you. Your divine counterpart is coming. Tell it in a different way. If it's late in life, like for me, I'm in my 50s. I say, I've never had children of my own. Can I still be a mother? Yes. Here's how. Can I still be a grandmother? Yes. Here's how. If I get married and my partner has children, they are my children and grandchildren. That's how. Tell a different story to get to your divine counterpart. You've been telling the wrong story. That's why you haven't met them. Tell a different story and you will find your divine counterpart. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me. Leave a kind comment, like, share, and subscribe. This is Stevie's Tarot. Have a most blessed day. Thanks.